This goes back a couple of weeks to the incident with the kid on the plane and the Teffilin. Yes. Now, I'm in an. I actually have become enmeshed in a feud with Agudas Yisrael of America because I said that their comments about this incident were vile and slanderous. And
what were the comments?
The comments were. Now, there were two sets of comments made by two different people. One of them was that people have to be very careful to make sure to explain ahead of time to flight attendants what's going on. The other one was that it is understandable in this day and age that people take these things the wrong way, and therefore you have to use your judgment. You have to do it at the right time, and again, also you have to. I always explain to the people next to me what I'm doing. So I took very strong exception to these statements. The reason why I took strong exception to these is because there's an implication to both these statements. Now, the implication is, and you have, for those who don't realize that the fellow on the plane who's been filmed is a Talmud of mine for MTA. He's a the most shy, retiring, deferential, polite, and harmless kid. Also brilliant. Right?
What happened again?
A guy put on Teffilin on an airplane. Right?
Yeah,
and he was... No? Guy put on Teffilin on the U.S. Airways flight between New York and Louisville, and the plane was diverted to Philadelphia on the assumption that he was strapping a bomb on his head, and his arm was about to blow up the plane. Yes. So, where have you guys been living?
No Jewish guy wasn't attending the plane just to say to the other guys that...
No, he explained it, and his sister who was sitting next to him also explained it.
But they were accomplices.
What?
They didn't tell the passengers they were diverting. They
didn't tell passengers anyway. They just diverted and
there were very few people on the plane.
15. And then they scrambled on at gunpoint. Shoot, aiming the guns at everybody.
They what?
They scrambled on with the bomb squad with guns.
At the plane?
I would have lit the fuse right when I saw it.
Yes. So I said, this is vile and slanderous in two ways. First of all, your implication is that this kid didn't respond properly, explain himself to the flight attendants before and during, and that therefore he displayed behavior which was improper, and therefore the response was understandable. That is incorrect on two accounts. First of all, he did try and explain. But because he said in the account that he tried to explain. The point is not.
I thought she didn't ask. She didn't ask it.
No, he explained, and nevertheless she didn't believe him.
Wow. From the news, it seems as if he explained afterwards and not before. It was not made clear that he tried to explain before he put on the Teffilin.
Yeah. So even if all this is true, let's say all this is true, what Agudah should have done is they should have said, we would like to praise Kolev Leibowitz for being Mekadei Shem Shamayim and acting in a responsible and deferential way when put into extreme duress in public.
That's not a smart statement to make, though.
What?
That's not publicly a smart statement to make.
Why?
Wait, I'm sorry.
If you are the representative of Orthodox Judaism in America, you represent a movement, which is a movement which wants to take pride in Jews who do the right thing. Don't you think you should take your chances and make such a statement?
But it's not political.
No.
Political! Oh!
Yes.
That's right! So if Agudah, in my opinion, demonstrated that it's not a movement of Yirei Shamayim, but a political organization.
How is the guy supposed to know what's putting on Teffilin? How do you want the man to know that...
What man?
The putting on Teffilin.
He was 17, the boy. You mean the boy?
No, the flight attendant.
How do you want him to know? He was putting on Teffilin. the article seems that I read, he didn't know that they didn't want him to put on tefillin.
Of course he didn't. That's my point.
So why do you want him to be arrested? Because he's a religious
No, I don't want to be arrested. I want to say he made a Kiddush Hashem.
You came in late. You better have missed something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want...
I'm upset at the statement which was put out by the Agudas Israel of America.
What was the
Wait, they
statement?
never asked him? Did they ever ask him?
Yes.
Did they ever ask him his state from his point of view before they made their...
No, they didn't ask him. They didn't contact him. Right. So,
Did they get a statement from the kid himself?
no. No.
He wasn't interviewed at all?
No.
Echo.
So the,
So why did they ask Aguda of all people?
what?
What is the
Aguda wasn't asked. They volunteered their statements.
What did our
What was their exact
Nothing.
statement? Aguda, they said that
You go-
the wrong thing?
What? No, he didn't. They didn't say he did the wrong thing. They just implied that what he did was improper, right? And people should be careful in the future.
See, that's not how I understood the statement. The statement we just made, the way I understood it, for the future references, people should be more cautious of it and explain. Not that he did anything wrong. I don't think that's the statement implied. The statement was like, next time you go on the play, make sure the people around you know what you're doing.
But maybe he did that and it didn't do any good.
No, but I'm saying now for the future references.
I know, but maybe he did that already. It didn't do any good. How do you know that that's going to help? Maybe that's exactly what he did and didn't have any
But at
benefit.
least as Jews we should try and take precautions.
So then, but again, what somebody criticized me and said, Rabbi Beck, for you're responding over the top by calling it a vile slander.
Sounds
Well, it is
emotional,
slander.
yes.
What?
It is slander.
I think it's vile because you're a 70-year-old boy who should be mechazik.
You should be chazan privately.
Why privately?
Publicly, he was embarrassed publicly.
Yeah, this took place in front of the entire United States. Why
But
publicly?
how do you expect him to act?
Yeah,
I mean,
a guy from the Aguda wrote me. He said, we'll come to MTA to apologize publicly to the boy, as long as there's no press present.
What's the point of that?
Why would Aguda put out a thing?
Yes.
I think this guy should sue Aguda.
Anyway, so now I want you to know, I say that all that I say against the Aguda in this respect is directly linked to my anger at the Aguda for closing the Jewish Observer, which was my publishing venue of choice.
See the shir on
Well, I just
TorahAnytime.com.
think-
What?
There's a shir on TorahAnytime about that topic that you give many months ago.
That I gave, yes. So this all goes back to that. And I think that there's a link here in that the Aguda, in closing down Jewish Observer, has indicated that its idealism no longer exists, no longer has an ideal, an idealism, an aspiration to guide people in a certain direction in Klal Yisrael, and therefore all it remains is a political organization. And political organizations make political statements like this. That is entirely understood in the context of a political organization. Now, that's one thing. So I had also a correspondence with one of the secular teachers in MTA, from Guy, but is a secular teacher, about whether Kalev, who was also a student of his, did the right thing or didn't do the right thing by putting on tefillin in public. And he said that he doesn't necessarily think it's the right thing. One shouldn't put on tefillin. You should dive without tefillin. Put on tefillin later.
I mean, why dive from the plane that he tried to put on?
Sorry?
Why haven't he put on film before or after?
He left before this man.
Okay, but it was an hour ride. It wasn't like it wasn't like only an hour ride before he was gone.
I don't know how it is.
What's the difference? So
Yeah.
some people-
Anyway, put on tefillin. So listen. That's a good point because there's a generational gap here. Because I think that an older generation would see it the way this other teacher saw it, and me being from the younger generation, so I see it as there's a point of Jewish pride. So I want to show you tonight what the author from the Vardik has to say about this. The author from the Vardik. Now, as you know, there are three great Musar schools in Lithuania: Slobodka, Kelm, and Novardok. Slobodka was led by the author from Slobodka, Reb Nosson Tzvi Finkel, and stressed the greatness of man and his potential. These are obviously superficial explanations of the different schools, but they are so they'll suffice for now. Kelm, led by the author from Kelm, author literally means the old man, Reb Simcha Zissel Ziv, stressed the value of precise order and precise and a highly ordered and precisely thought out life. The Vardik stressed the shortcomings of man on the one hand, and on the other hand, the necessity to not have total bitachon, to have complete and total bitachon, not have any concern with what the world will say about you. Okay? Now, with that in mind, let us see what the Alter from Vardik writes here. Alter from Vardik says, page Nunches, Ein Adam Yochol Amin. A person cannot believe. Asher Yochol Eretz Kokach Mata. They can go down so far. Adyuta Tachtoina. To the very lowest level. A person never thinks of himself that he could just drop down to the lowest level. Hu margish atzmo achshav. He feels himself now. Ki rachok ma'od. That he's very different. The distance. From the lowest point of nature. And you can't depict in your mind's eye a manner of cause and effect by which you can fall altogether. And you cannot sense how much is embedded in the power of your nature to do bad things. Because even if we ask the person who is questing to accomplish something, how do you feel in your understanding, your mindset? If you don't make the effort to attain a strong foundation and a compelling cause which will make you successfully withstand any test, what's going to be if you come to a test? In any of the dinim which is explicit Torah, tispater, will you be seduced to transgress it, or not? However, hagedno amita sadvorim, tell us the truth. So Yanel anu techef, certainly he'll answer us. Asher batuach, that if this person is certain kiloi koshel ben, he's not going to stumble. Ki no margisha tovativo, because he doesn't feel in his nature now shum hispatus, any seduction, any persuasion, sheyit balo, which is attempting to persuade him al davar echem advarim me'ela, on any matter of great weight, which has to do with sinning. V'nid melo, and it seems to him ki ben yisrael onus, whether he faces a test of being compelled, ben yisrael pituya, or a test of being seduced, yamo v'lo yosus min komo. He will stand in place and he won't move an inch. That's a person who thinks about himself. However, if we analyze this with great analysis, we'll find that this assumption we have, it's supposed to be done other people the kaf schus. We usually are done other people the kaf choiv. We're done ourselves the kaf schus. Right? We always look at ourselves meritoriously. Other people, they're guilty. We're meritorious, right? So it says, therefore, it's not possible for a person to have a true picture of where he's holding. But if we take this matter to the test, with seriousness, and quest for truth, so become clear to us, there's no portion of the Torah that a person could say he is sure about himself, that he'll stand firm, and that he won't be persuaded by any spirit in the world at the time of a test. Says Alfred Vardik, if you think that you are so strong that human cannot be tempted and you will withstand every temptation, you are fooling yourself. There's no halacha or any mitzvah that a person can say bein al over, bein al asid, whether on the past or on the future. Never transgresses. I'm sure I never will. And why can't he say it on the past? Mipnei hu lo yachol amar al ha'asid. Because he can't say it on the future. What does that mean? Kosh Gomer Rabbi Kiva said, Kol yom hayol yisi mitzara pasuk zeh, masa yavel yodi b'akemeno. That my entire life I had anguish. When I'm going to be able to fulfill this pasuk of V'ahavta Hashem Elokecha. What do you mean? You fulfilled it your whole life, didn't you? What does Rabbi Kiva do if not V'ahavta Hashem Elokecha? Right? Okay, so there's B'chol Avavcha he didn't do, but his entire life he had anguish that he's not going to be able to fulfill the pasuk. So he says, For Yishayim she'omru kol echad al davar me'olam lo avarti, all those who said, I never transgressed on something, it's because they made a strong preparation for the future. So a person hasn't made the proper preparation by learning Musar. There's no portion in Torah between man and God, man is fellow man. So the author from the Vardak is saying a very big chiddush. He's saying, Rabbi Akiva is saying, of course I loved Hashem, but since I never loved Hashem yet, in this Madrega B'chol Nafshecha, so that means that whatever I did in the past was not complete. If I could say, and this is, I'm not sure how the author from the Vardak really why he asserts this, but he says the only way I could say that I was not over on something in the past is if I am sure I'm not going to be over it on the future. And how am I ever supposed to be sure? So what does that mean? The only way I can be sure that I didn't transgress in the past is if I'm sure I'm not going to be able to transgress it, I won't transgress it in the future. It means that transgression from the ultimate Vardak's perspective doesn't mean the actual Aveira, but the potential to commit the Aveira. And as long as I'm not sure about the future, what assurance do I have of the past? As long as I'm not sure I can prevent myself from doing that Aveira in the future, I wasn't sure in the past either. This is what he's saying. It's a very big chiddush. What? He's saying that you can't regard yourself as not having committed an Aveira as long as you're never, even in the past, as long as you're not secure they won't do it in the future.
Your past cannot be
right.
defense for you.
Your past, right, because your past obviously doesn't indicate that you didn't transgress the Aveira because you had the potential to do it and didn't do it nonetheless. No. The evidence being that the moment you got the chance to do it, what? You did do it.
About all the previous examples that happened.
Again, let's say 5 years from now, you eat a cheeseburger, right? So maybe all the time you didn't eat a cheeseburger till then, it's not because you weren't over that way of eating a cheeseburger.
Wait.
You didn't have the opportunity. You weren't confronted with it. So what do you mean? Yeah, of course you never ate a cheeseburger. What did you do?
No, but that's...
But then all that time you didn't eat one, you don't get any scarf for it.
No.
You never had the opportunity.
Right.
Wait. If each time you had that same passion for the cheeseburger, and each time for the past 5 years you have turned it down,
then yes, he'd say that is.
So you have evidence from the past that you could overcome the eating of the cheeseburger.
Yes, if a person actually had temptation, but a person never had that temptation. Like Rabbi Kiva said, this level of Avas Hashem I never had before, right? So he's saying, if I never had it, if I never experienced it, so that means that I can't get the schar for it. I've always had Hashem in all the ways I possibly can, but this way, I never had an opportunity.
So according to that logic, you would never be able to climb up the ladder, like you'd always be stagnant on the same level, apparently. Right?
Yes. So
the over here will never move.
That's why you need nisyonos.
Yeah, but until you felt... But I'm saying, for the past 10 years, a person hasn't sinned, let's say, right? That's not to say that he hasn't grown levels.
Yes. But that doesn't mean that he gets schar for not having sinned.
Why not?
Because maybe he would have sinned and given the opportunity.
Well, he knew about the Aveira? He knew about the cheeseburger was awesome.
Yeah, but he didn't go to McDonald's. Wasn't in McDonald's.
Then when was it?
What if
He knew he ate in kosher restaurants, and in the back of his mind, he always said, "Man, mine cheeseburgers are also." Should get scarred for that?
What if I go say into McDonald's, order a cheeseburger, and just not eat it? Do I get scarred for not eating it?
Only if you actually had the time. If you do it in order to avoid eating it, then I don't think so. Yeah. What?
So should a person go to a place where there's a bunch of, let's say, prostitutes? If he's not going to do anything, he's just doing it because he wants to do tshuva of his avera?
Yes, but the thing is, we're not sure of ourselves, so therefore we say out to be loyde and yisayim loyde vizayon. It's a theory, what that's what a person should do. In practice, highly inadvisable. Okay, now what does that do with us? So that's the next paragraph. Ein hanhagas u'nevaris approach of b'tziyum rabim. We're going to explain this now in detail with many different depictions. The kind of a person is not the same when he is properly arranged in his place. Kind of goes so as he conducts himself when he's traveling. Bifrat berakeves, especially in a train, right? Trains are, of course, the planes of the time, right?
Translate that.
What? Yeah. So kisham yachlif kol hanagoso. Because there he will change his entire mode of conduct. V'yacholios, and it's possible. Asher bebeis hamedrash shelo, if he was his own base medrash, or yamedaktek b'mitzvahs tefillin. B'chol pratim. But meticulous in the mitzvah of tefillin with all its details. U'b'chozos. However, be'eis yosef rakeves, when he's traveling on the train, shom yaselo heterim. They'll make himself leniencies, like this other teacher was writing to me. Lispal below tefillin, we're down without tefillin. 1 second. As much as he can shorten his davening and push off his davening. He shortens and pushes off. And all the normal preparations for tefillin shoves by the wayside. Why? Because he's on a train. Because he's traveling.
How about the consideration? You have to.
What?
You have to be considerate of other people. Like
why does it bother other people if I put on tefillin and daven?
You see, it bothers them.
It doesn't bother them. Yeah, it doesn't bother them. If they want to be bothered, they're bothered. But I'm not bothering them, right? What if it bothers people that wear yarmulke?
But if you know the reason, it's reasonable that you'll be bothered. Then
You don't know what I can be behind anyway. I could have plastic explosives under my yarmulke, can't I?
yeah, but here it's not reasonable. I mean,
Why is that reasonable?
I'm feeling. I mean, if you have reasons to believe that they may be bothered, then
Who's ever thought before this that
Yeah.
it would bother someone like that?
right. that's
People
not-
listen to MP3 players all the time on airplanes, and those have real wires.
That bothers me.
Right.
Yes.
People scream on.
Isn't there a concept? I'm sorry. Is there a concept of galus? The fact that when the galus we shouldn't have this.
The Alter Rebbe would say that it's the same Yetzer Hara.
No, but I remember
The
here.
the train, the goal, it's the same thing.
Like putting on your tefillin on a train or on an airplane and doing it so in public, it's like, oh, I'm not in galus anymore. This is my home. This is like, a person should have some sort of like busha or something to it.
Busha to be Jewish?
No, you're in the galus. This is not your.
So don't wear an Israeli flag. What's up to with mitzvahs?
No, but I think even mitzvahs there to a certain extent. You shouldn't do things publicly because it's not. This is you're still in galus. You shouldn't.
The only reason not to do mitzvahs publicly is because you're supposed to be a modest person. You're supposed to walk modestly with
Do
God.
you hear any idea of being in galus?
How about that?
No!
Sure, I remember hearing there's an idea. Like,
No, I understand that
on train or something like that.
I understand that there's such a notion. I reject it utterly and
Oh,
totally.
you just reject it.
Yes.
Okay, but there's a notion like that.
There is such a notion.
What's the notion?
Yeah, because we're in Golos, we shouldn't put on tefillin on trains.
Specifically,
Why not get trained?
What? No, anywhere.
I think just stop. So you
Probably telephone booths, rest stops, rest areas on the highway, right?
But it's more important to have a mitzvah than to.
Right?
So how about the snap?
Not according to Shlomo.
wait. Just
No,
stop.
I'm not saying you're not going to get the mitzvah. I'm saying you should have a booster doing it. Something like you're in the galus.
You should be embarrassed with the mitzvah, right?
Not embarrassed.
Shlomo says you should be embarrassed doing a mitzvah when you're chutz laretz.
I'm saying should be doing mitzvahs publicly, okay?
I feel just the opposite.
Yeah.
That's why you should do it publicly, because you're in Golas, so you need people to make more of a Kiddush Hashem when I feel just the opposite.
I agree. It's a problem which Shlomo has here. Okay, so let's go.
Wait a second, it's not a chilul Hashem of a Jew, like, doing davening on a plane. That's not a chilul
I
Hashem.
mean, I agree in theory, but at the same time, you can't.
Making minyan can be a chilul Hashem.
What?
Making minyan is chilul Hashem.
No, that's a Hiloshim. Why is that?
Because it's
Because it blocks the aisles, it makes noise.
At the end of the airplane blocks.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, but why do you want
Blocks the bathroom. That's much more important. What?
people in their seats.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not right, because people scream on top of their lungs, and just because...
I never heard of that. I've been in Dublin. I never.
Have you ever traveled with a loud space? Just traveled many times. But in any event,
You didn't enjoy the Dublin, did you? You just Dublin based.
No, but like I like when I'm in the airport and I see the hibbity bibbity people, those people with the dots in their head, hibbity bibbity, and they like, it makes me uncomfortable.
You're being recorded.
Oh, I'm
you cannot use that
sorry. Are you
phrase.
the only one from there?
No, I'm not from there.
Okay.
I don't have people there to be offended by that.
But
on, you
basically,
can't
like, it makes me
get
feel
offended
uncomfortable.
Why does it make you feel
Coming in
uncomfortable?
with the big turbans, they shouldn't be having the big turbans in there.
You're a racist. What am I supposed to tell you?
He's not racist, no.
turbans on there because their hair's wrapped in.
Yes. Shabi, what was it?
so how about the Tanakh? So how do you, what's your take on it?
Hatzei alechas means you don't do things with deliberate publicity. But you don't change your anhaga. Anything which you do under other circumstances, it's not a pgam and hatzei alechas to do it now.
That's what they have.
Okay, let's go weiter by side. Now, the gam zehu yodea, and this also a person knows, at least deep down. Ilya margis haseichel, where to arouse his intellect. Arouse his intellect is interesting, like paradox, because margis is an emotion, seichel is intellect. But if you arouse your intellect, ala doichek shemargish oz, over the oppression he feels because he's traveling. Then he could vanquish it. Fulfill the mitzvah in its completion, in its perfection. But you lose your head. And all the analysis and all the proper reckonings, since you're under the pressure of traveling, just of traveling, you lose your head. Wait. Elisha Bar Knafayim. Elisha Bar Knafayim is a famous story where he put on tefillin and there was a gzeir against it. Then the Greek or Roman soldier ran after him, right? And he took it off and he put it in his hands and they said, "What do you have in your hands?" He said, "Dove's wings." And he opened up his hands and he had dove's wings, right? Very famous miracle in Shas.
That's okay.
Did you get it now?
I heard it now.
Okay. So it says, Elisha Bar Knafayim, she lets it tefillin on Rosho. Now, we, of course, as Golos Jews, would say he put on tefillin in public when there was a decree that anybody put on tefillin which should be run through with a sword. What do we Golos Jews say? It's insane. It's Mechil Hashem. That's not what the Gemara says. The Gemara says that he deserved a miracle. Sof Nasalon Nace. Why?
That's what
Again, this is about
What?
one second. It's Alter Vardak Shita. That if you have total bitachon and you do the right thing, regardless of any potential circumstances, then you'll get what you deserve.
That's not different, because there was a perfect government which was a tyranny, effectively. It was a tyranny, they didn't allow you to practice your religion. That's different. Then you have to be publicly try to defeat them. Yeah. But on the other hand, here you have a democracy.
Shavi, I knew you're a philosopher. I didn't know you're a sophist. Okay.
Wait, can I say
Yes.
something? With the support of
You're very deep down in the hole at the moment, so you better try and extricate yourself. Yes, go ahead.
with the support, I'm not disagreeing. I'm just bringing the other point of view.
Yeah.
With the support of Ashkenaz, have a difference of having that film on the outside. And I believe one of the reasons the Sephardim have that film on the they keep it in the inside and not on the outside is because of the
Inside
goyim.
what? Inside what?
No, it's tzitzis. I'm sorry, tzitzis. The kid that tzitzis inside instead of outside because of the fact that they're going out there, and there's a concept of going, looking in the midst and becoming jealous and having hatred towards you.
You're making this up.
No, I'm not. I think that's how I've heard it. How did you hear it? So what's the difference, Rabbi? According to you, what was the difference?
Why?
Why does Sephardi keep the tzitzit on that side?
That's a Pikabola.
What's up, Pikabola?
What do you mean a Pikabola? No, it was the Goyim.
No, it's not going.
No.
Yes.
No, I've heard the Kabbalah screws as well.
No, it's not.
I'm serious. But you don't believe Kabbalah.
I don't believe in Kabbalah, but I'm saying, provided my theory is true in this aspect.
But it's not.
But if it is,
It is, yeah. If the world were flat, yeah.
what?
If the world were flat,
Okay, so then, putting on should be a Kabbalah from a kol shekeni shouldn't do it.
for sure, you got it. Yeah, that's definitely true.
If I prove that what I'm saying is true with regards to tzitzis, you will accept it? You'll agree
What?
with it? If I bring proof of what I'm saying with regards to tzitzis.
It won't make a difference.
Why not?
Because tzitzis, you can be
just said
Mekayim.
before.
You can be Mekayim mitzvah tzitzis by wearing them in private. You can't be Mekayim mitzvah tzitzis by wearing them in private.
No, after.
You can put it under your shirt.
Yeah, or a hat.
Yeah, and you can figure something out. You can put towels on top of it.
And if you're on the talus,
He said, yeah, Kim, show you.
What? Not have a talus?
yeah.
You don't wear Teffilin when you don't have a talus.
Yeah, okay. Okay, on we go.
Rabbi,
Yeah.
the last 5 minutes, are we going to have question and answer? Because I have a very big question today.
We'll see how far we get.
Okay. It's a very big question.
And certainly, when a person's in a train, where there's no decree, you don't need a miracle. But the entire reason why he is short or brief in his davening, is only his laziness, these reasons, and his lack of meticulous care. We have just the slightest test. How much more so? Where you have to actually withstand nisayon, and fulfill the halacha in its I'm sorry. In that case, he certainly should have been oimed nisayon and fulfilled the halacha. But to Elisha Baal Knafayim, under tremendous pressure of loss of life or death, can't fulfill the halacha properly. You in a train, so certainly fulfill it properly. And in fact, when a person is in a state of tranquility, of nuchas hanefesh, then it seems to that you're not going to be afraid of anything. You're not going to abbreviate your davening. Certainly won't transgress any halacha. But you can only think when there's no test in front of you. When the test comes, it's a totally different person. He has no power nor any capacity to move a limb. And so similar to it has to do with being mafsik, interruptions in davening. As much as you're careful about this, to be very meticulous. The chos nevertheless, if the conductor passes, in the middle of Shemona Esrei, and you have a ticket, and by law they can't make you speak in the middle of davening. Nevertheless, the chos is balbel miyad. And actually, lanos means here to produce the ticket. You don't have to produce the ticket while you're davening. Because immediately you're going to get confused. And by the time your mind gets around to calming you down, you already took out the ticket to show him. And even though your heart feels guilty, but then at the time of the test, you are not a master over yourself. So you do everything with haste and with pressure. The exact opposite. And I would say our Rebbe Chassid Mitels, who was alive at the time of the first Polish Revolution, which I think was in the time of Catherine the Great. Was that the early 1700s? Kibo Achel Chayil, it tells, the army came to tells. At that time, Baruch Hu Kol Anshe Ya'ir, all the people of the city ran away. Mivnei HaPachad, Shem Yasu Be'an HaPros, because maybe they're going to be pogroms. Only he stands in the base medrash. Uvikshu Mimenu Sheyireh Lohem, Ana Halach Hasonei. And they asked him, I guess the whoever came, the Cossacks or the Poles, they asked him where to show him where their enemies went. He went to show them. When it came time for Mincha, he stood up davening in the forest. And everybody was jumping around. Because the horses were stomping at the bit to go. He didn't look at anything, he just davened. And they said, the general said, he never saw a fervor, v'simchas nefesh, and happiness, like he saw by Rabbi tells her. Mavhil al-Rayon, this is astonishing to our ideas. Kocho agadol, his great power. He didn't look at anything. And he conducted himself at the time of the test, like in his base medrash. And in fact, he even acted more meticulously. Mishar l'zikaron, and there's remained an eternal story. Now, of course, what was Agudah say if they came to ask you at the time of davening mincha where the Arab terrorists went, and you wouldn't answer them? They'd say, well, that was the wrong thing to do, or we have to be very careful in the future, or something like that. But that's not necessarily how to look at things. It's because from Reb Leib Chassid's perspective, you don't interrupt davening. There are things which, and this is not necessarily, al pidin, maybe it's mutzah to interrupt davening.
No, the chatchila should you.
Al pidin, maybe the situation is the chatchila to interrupt. But if he wouldn't interrupt in his base medrash, he doesn't interrupt here. In other words, his world remains the same no matter what's happening around him. For most of us, everywhere we go is a different world. We have one world in base medrash, another world at home, another world in the car, another world when we're on vacation. We go from world to world.
Oh, so you act differently all the time.
Yes.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Reb Leib Chassid was in the same world. Things changed around his world, but his world didn't change. That's true menuchas hanefesh. It's called hishtabus. Everything is equal. There's nothing which changes my personal flow, no matter what situation I'm in.
But isn't that normal that you change with your world?
Of course, because we're normal because we're more. It is normal to be a moron, right?
I think we were designed to get a little bit stressful when people ask other things, and because we were designed to be friendly. And,
yeah, but you know what? As much as
maybe we're being tested.
What?
We're being tested.
I mean, the idea of establish makes sense, but it's a matter of degree, because if you take it to the extreme, then you wouldn't respond to anybody. You will just live in your own world.
When they test metal for stress, when they test your heart for stress,
right?
You pass the test if you conduct yourself the same under stress, or if the metal conducts itself the same under stress as it conducts itself not under stress. If you are in distress.
No, I'm not thinking about scientifically tests. Well, what is like tests? So what is stress?
What's the difference?
No, I mean just talking about your alertness. Like if somebody asks you something, he asks you for a ticket, so you want to respond, and that's natural.
Right. The Alter Rebbe doesn't disagree. He says that's why you have to make sure deliberately ahead of time to fortify yourself against that.
Something without davening, without the idea of davening, it's a good thing because.
What, to give him the ticket? Yes, it definitely is a good thing to give because
to be alerted to that, that whenever he asks you, you want to give it to me right away.
Yes, yeah. But it's also a good thing that during davening we don't hear it. Of course we hear it because we're jerks.
But he also kind of derech eretz because he asked you.
What do you mean derech eretz?
He asked you for that, and he just deny it.
If I go to your Shemona Esrei in the basement and say, Shabby, can you please give me a cup of coffee? They're Cheretz, right? You should give me a cup of coffee.
It's a problem, but the only reason you are allowed not to respond.
Our davening is not davening.
The only reason you're allowed not to respond is because davening eventually is more important. But it's not that you don't miss something significant.
Shabby, you're just making trouble for the purpose of making trouble. Because if you don't like this example, find an example which you like. Right? Yeah.
But in the situation where you talk, what's the case that you're talking about? I wasn't sure the case that you're talking about because to me it doesn't. You're talking about when he's in public and he wants to put on tefillin.
Yeah. He has to put on tefillin. He doesn't want to. He has to put on tefillin.
You say he has to put on.
Should he wait and put it after he comes to the floor?
No.
Or should have to put it on the plane?
On the plane.
Why?
Because the same reason Makdim in the mitzvahs, which you have elsewhere, you should have here. The fact that you are self-conscious, that's your shortcoming.
He thinks it's a shortcoming.
That's what the Alfman Vardak is saying.
You think putting on tefillin in the base of English is not as good as putting it on an airplane?
What?
You're saying that putting tefillin on a bait man.
He's saying it's the same thing.
Oh, that's
No,
what
It's not better, it's worse.
What do you mean it's worse?
You think it's better to put tefillin on the airplane than to put it in the base of English?
No, he's trying to say it's the same thing. It should be the same
that's
to
what I
you.
wanted to say. About the more on this quick. At least one good thing is about today is that most people are not deliberately wicked people. You can't say, if you want to say we're more, fine, but in the olden days, people knew more, so there were more wicked people. Today, most people don't know. The average person, even people who are from, I'm talking about Shomer Shabbos, you ask them, why do you keep Shabbos? Why do you believe, why do you just keep Shabbos? I don't know, I just keep Shabbos because that's what the thing to do. It's like, that's the way it is, that's the way today. It's like you tell people, the seminary girls want to marry people, they want to marry boys who are learning. Why do you want to marry boys who are learning? Because that's the thing to do. Why do you want to be in lapel? That's the thing to do. That's the way. It's just not thinking. It's just not thinking. Just go with the flow. Just cook.
Right. It certainly has advantages to not to think, but the more advantages in thinking, usually.
Okay, but
Yeah.
The Ash conformity experiment comes to mind because even in a setting where, especially in a setting where everyone is doing something that's very different from us, it's natural to want to conform to them and to do what they're doing. That's why in a place like an airplane where everyone's sitting down, the person would feel so uncomfortable and want to abbreviate their Shemona Esrei. It's a very, very strong desire to conform all the time.
Right.
To everyone else.
Bichlal, an airplane is a very fascinating place. I mean, the type of anywhere else you could go for many hours without eating, but in an airplane.
Well, people do it because they're bored.
In an airplane, you need to eat. You want that airline meal, which is right, or the pretzels, whatever. It's they could be disgusting, but you need that food. So and there's a whole the echsherim, which you're makbid on. Anywhere else, on a plane, you're going to start rethinking. Well, maybe for airplane snack, the triangle K is good enough. I need those peanuts, right? So it becomes a totally different perspective. Just because you're on the stupid plane, and they're giving you those little peanuts, it's an amazing thing. You know what it's like? It's the same phenomenon as you have. It's not religiously, but with like gas stations. You always look for the gas station which sells for a cent less a gallon, so you can save those 12 cents, right? Right? Normally, 12 cents is meaningless to you. When it comes to gas stations, you're going to look for the one which has the 1 cent less in order to save those 12 cents. And you're going to feel all guilty and miserable if you went to the one which costs 1 cent more. Right? That's human nature. So, but here it affects halacha. Yeah.
Is triangle K okay for drinks, right?
As long as it doesn't have grape juice, it's fine.
What would tabernacle? What?
Yeah.
Tabernacle cave go. Not good? No? Why not? Just burn it.
Fred has oils. Yeah. Okay, you know what? We'll finish this tomorrow night because Shlomo wants to ask. I know. Shlomo wants to ask a general question, so I'll finish this tomorrow night. I'm going to take Shlomo's general question. Go ahead.
Today there was a situation.
If you want to get, I have enough for tomorrow night. Yeah.
Today there was a situation where There was someone who was on death row. There was someone on...
Florida, yeah.
So what is that case? If we let the guy free, if you just say, off death row, maybe he'll go out free, like, what are you supposed to do? Sign, don't sign, ignore the situation?
What's the situation? We don't know.
I would ignore the situation.
Why
I would not get involved.
why does Rebbe feel like, I'm just curious.
Because I don't know the facts.
Oh, so you're saying it could be that this guy is a danger to society and you're just going to let him off free?
Right. Listen, I'm sure they didn't want it to be let free. I'm sure they just wanted the life imprisonment, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I wouldn't know what to say about these things.
He's mentally...
What?
He's not mentally, he took drugs. I mean, it's
Yeah.
he's over drugs.
Permanently retarded.
It's hard to know all the facts in these cases.
Right, because they don't even make sense. Because if the guy was on drugs, there's no sense.
Elias?
No.